Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing something that I have actually been putting off, and I am super excited to finally get it underway. My chicken house is so close to my home, you can totally see it. And today, we are going to update Cluckingham Palace with a much needed outdoor curb appeal on a super budget. You definitely don't want to miss any of these projects. My time is actually running out. My chicks are going to be here in a month, and I absolutely have to get all of this in order for them. For their run, I need to remove all of my panels and put them away, but more importantly, what I'm doing is I am digging up all of the old stall pellets, hay, anything that's been left, going down to the dirt. We're going to start fresh and clean with them. I want to clean up all of that. I want to get the air circulating with these panels off and just get this area in general ready for new chicks. Now also, here is their coop, and their coop is actually very, very close to my house, so it's something that you can see, and it's something that I actually care how it looks. So I went down to Home Depot and we just grabbed some super pretty flowers, and we are going to do a little bit of decorating. We are going to get that window box going over there. I have a trellising flower that I'm going to pot up nicely. I think we're going to attach that ladder to the wall. We're going to do some decorative techniques to this coop. And one of those techniques is a DIY project that I am excited to do. I picked up this ready-to-go board and two little trim pieces when I was at Lowe's, and I am actually going to make a faux door, and it's going to go right there, and I think it's just really going to look absolutely amazing. It's going to have such curb appeal. I need to kind of just... I want to spruce this up. Now, this area is an area I also enjoy sitting in. I love sitting here. It has a nice umbrella that goes in it. I love watching the chickens. Chickens are so much fun to watch. Do you have chickens? And if so, do you find yourself just kind of chilling with them outside, hanging out, and just watching them and catching yourself laughing and smiling? Because I know I do. So I created this outdoor space for me to have, but it needs to be spruced up. It needs some zhuzhing. It looks awful. We had some gravel and rocks put down. The squirrels unfortunately filled it completely with acorn shells. So I'm actually going to work on clearing off like a patio, if you will. So yeah, I have this whole pile of these 12 by 12 concrete pavers, if you will. I'm not exactly sure. And then I have a very small supply of these edgers, which I love because, I mean, look at that. They have that nice live mossy edge, so they're already patinaed and beautiful for over there. But I think I'm going to put this to good use as well and use some of these pavers over there. Now, we also have to figure out this space right here. Scott is going to build a permanent top on it, just like he did to that one there. It's not done yet. We need to move this. The inside of the coop still needs to be done. We're working on that. But for right now, let's get some charm going on the outside of Cluckingham Palace, because I'm really kind of tired of it looking like the crack shack. To go with this faux door, I ended up grabbing a Valspar, stain and sealer all in one in this real pretty gray. It's called Cottage Gray, and I thought that would look really good with this ugly green, which I hate, but there's nothing I can do. Bought some really pretty hinges we're going to put on there to even up the effect more, and just a nice little handle as well. So now we need to get this project underway. And we're going to start by getting our flowers put in our window box.
Oh, no, little by little, I pour out my heart. Little by little, here, I always run and hit the wall. I'd rather jump and risk the fall.
I have this antique ladder, and I thought maybe at some point, like, it could go up on the wall, and the clematis could climb it, and I don't know. We have to play around with things, but that's what we're doing. We're working on the curb appeal for Cluckingham Palace. I have this antique ladder laying around, and it has all of these eye hooks in it because I actually turned it into a pot rack once upon a time in another life of it, and it was fabulous as a pot rack. But I have no need for that anymore, so I am removing all of those eye hooks, and I'm going to see if I can actually use this on the outside of Cluckingham Palace. I think it would be nice for something to trellis up it, maybe the clematis I just bought. I have an idea for how I want to set it up eventually, and to do so I need all of these out, so that's what I'm doing. I have a set of these antique ladder back chairs that I initially bought for my dining room makeover, but they weren't going to cut the bill for my needs, so they're just kind of lying around doing nothing. And the caning on the seat is all brittle and it's all rotten and it needs to come off. But the structure of the chair is actually really good. They're nice and solid, and I actually think they're pretty. And I have an idea for another life for them. So we're going to get all of that rotten cane off the seat and put it to good use. So the extreme budget part of this is working out great because I'm just using things that I have lying around doing nothing. And I removed all of that rotten cane from the seating area. And I actually found just a little piece of plywood that I want to lay right down on the chair, position it where I want, and I'm going to take a pencil and I am going to trace the angle of the support underneath it so that I can cut it, because that pot is going to sit right in there perfectly, and I think that is going to be super adorable. God is always there to lend a helping hand when I need something done with the project, so he just whipped out his little saw, made those 2 cuts super quick for me. It is the perfect shape and it's gonna fit on the chair exactly where I want it perfectly. Well, it was a good project in my mind, so let's see how it works out here. And would you look at that? It perfectly sits on the support rails of the chair that are already there. Pot sits right on top of that nicely. I do want to attach that piece of plywood to those rails with like some finish nails and some glue, but for right now I want to kind of see the whole thing together I can always lift that pot back out to attach it down at a later date, but I'm super impatient and I really want to see how this project is going to turn out because I think it's a great idea. And it's a totally great way to repurpose an item that otherwise would just kind of be sitting there all lonely and sad, just kind of rotting away, and it would eventually end up in the fire pit. So to me, this is so much better. And the best part is, like, I still have 4 more of these chairs, so I can come up with like 4 more projects exactly like this for around my house. So win-win-win all the way around. Yay, yay, yay. Let's finish this. This is going to be perfect for that climbing clematis. Oh my gosh, I love it. The only thing I think I'm going to add is a little bit of a moss padding underneath it to cover that plywood, but this is super cute. I'm really happy with this project. Now I'm just going to use the pots that I have lying around. I have all different kinds. I have this beautiful white ceramic pot that I thought this gorgeous purple plant would look good in. I also have other pots that I saved from Home Depot, especially like the ones that have the lift in the center like this, so they're made for a smaller plant. And I actually have a hack for this. What I'll do is I will set the plant inside of there, but then I remove the plant from the case, so I'm just leaving the container that the plant will sit in there. This just uses less dirt, and then I'm just going to fill up the dirt around the center of the container, put my plant back in there, and I've used less dirt that way. It's just a cute little hack. And that way I can set it up really cute over here. I have a terracotta planter. I just kind of turn that upside down to give that purple plant some height next to the chair. And I really just want to make it decorative and pretty. I think I've kind of hit it so far. I'm not done, but this is a great start. What do you think about my repurposing chair projects? Let me know down below. I thought I was going to have to buy 4 or 5 boards to put this door together, which would have actually cost a fortune nowadays. But I found this really cool panel that they had ready to go for projects, and this was going to be perfect. It was the perfect size, the perfect height, the perfect width, and the best part, it was only $23. Now, the panel I found to make the faux door in and itself is just kind of plain Jane. So I did find some trim pieces that were actually on clearance for $4 a piece. And I thought I could really use that to add a detail to the door itself, just to kind of give it a little more dimension, make it a little more appealing and interesting, and to give it more of an authentic door look. So I'm gonna lay my pieces on there. I'm gonna take the perfect measurements that I need. I'm gonna do 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, so I'll need to make 4 cuts, and I'm just gonna pull out my saw, get those cuts going, and we will get these pieces attached. And I think it's really gonna make the door pop instead of just kind of being all sad and plain, because I'm not a sad and plain kind of person. We all know I am a little bit extra, so isn't my faux door. So I laid out all the pieces I cut, and I laid out all the hardware I got because I wanted to kind of get a feel for exactly how this door is going to look, and I love it. I love the hardware. I love the details. The only thing is I'm just wondering, should I put the 2 pieces together to make like this big chunky piece that goes across the front, or do I keep them separate as 2 pieces? I don't know what to do. Together or apart. Together. Um, I like it both ways, but to be perfectly honest, I think I like the detail of them separated just a little bit more than I like them put together. So we are going to go with 2 separate pieces and a space in between. So I'm just going to use some of the professional Type Bond wood glue. I love this wood glue. I mean, it really holds. If you can get it, that's the type to get. And I'm going to put a nice thin coating on the back side of each piece. I am going to measure up 6 inches, and that is where I'm going to place my first decorative piece of molding on the front of door. And I am also going to use an extra piece of the molding. That's going to be my spacer in between the 2 pieces themselves. So we're going to glue them down, and then we are going to use some pressure nails and the air gun, and this project is going to be ready to be painted in an instant. Before I get the stain applied, I actually just want to use my little sander and I want to take off all of the sharp edges of the woods. I want to kind of dull the corners down, the edges. I want to make it look like it's been there for a while and not like something I just put together this afternoon. So I'm not being picky if there is an imperfection, if I go a little too deep, if it's all part of the patina and the look and it's all going to be fine. I just don't want any sharp edges, not on the decorative molding pieces, not on the edges of the door. I really think that taking the time to do this step totally enhances the look that I am absolutely going for. And once it's completely sanded, I am just going to use my husband's air gun and I am going to blow all of the dust off so that we can get busy staining this piece because I'm dying to see the color of it. I'm really hoping that I picked the exact shade of gray that I want. It's not too white, it's not too gray, it's kind of in between, and I think it's gonna work. Two coats later, and my faux door is finally completely painted. And now I am just going to leave it overnight so that that stain can really sit and cure so we can assemble it tomorrow. I'm happy with what we were able to get done today, and I got both coats of that solid color stain onto my faux door. So I'm just gonna let that cure for the night. I want it to just be done so that tomorrow I can actually put it right there. And I'm excited to get the hardware on there and just really complete the look to it, to bring some serious curb appeal to this, because this is so close to my house. I really need to spruce this area up. It's always bothered me, and this is the year we're going to do it. So for tonight, we're just going to let that cure. I'm going to go get a little bit of rest, spend some time with the family, and I'll be back tomorrow. As I was wrapping things up for the day, I couldn't help but notice that my cat had a wicked infatuation with this particular plant. And I finally got up to read the tag, which I apparently hadn't done when I bought it. And this is catnip. Maggie is all over this. Tiger even came later. Like, I don't know how long this plant is going to last, but it is so fun watching these cats get into it and then watching how they act afterwards. It was really super funny. So, I don't know how long it'll last there, but Maggie sure is enjoying it right now. And if you could only see the effects it had on her later, she ended up eating 5 cans of cat food. Girlfriend, catnip is the gateway. Stay away from it. You don't want to go down that road. Well, it's the next day, and can I just say it is an absolutely gorgeous day again. Before I put this piece up on the chicken coop, I actually want to give the backside a coating of the stain and sealer. I don't want to leave the raw wood there, obviously. I want there to be some type of protection on it because this is an outdoor wood. This is just pine glued together that I'm really hoping will last at least a little while. So I'm going to do all that I can to protect it. So now that the front is completely dry, we are just going to give the back 2 coats. It's going to take no time at all to dry. And once it's all dry, we can get it up onto Cluckingham Palace because I'm really excited to see how this is going to look there. Now, to attach the faux door that we made, Scott is literally just gonna put screws straight into that and into the side of the chicken coop. I'm just gonna cover those screws with the same color paint as the door. I don't really care if you see them or not. I mean, if you're that close to the chicken coop and analyzing it, then we shouldn't be friends anyways. I'm not that kind of girl. So, this is just the best way to get them on there secure. And yes, I do have an oak tree catkin in my hair. I had no idea it was there. I would have taken it off. Those things are all over the place. Is your yard covered with the oak tree catkins as well? They drive me bonkers. Drop a comment below and let me know if they drive you insane too, and is your yard overrun with them as well? Faux door is attached to the side of the chicken coop, and it's not looking like much yet. Now it's time to add the hardware, and I think that is going to make a huge visual impact to the illusion that this is actually a door when in fact it really isn't. I needed to add support to the end of the hinges because these aren't real hinges. They're not really installed into anything, and the door is just sitting on the outside of the coop. So that leaves kind of the same inch width space behind the hinge that I need to fill up, which is the width of the door. So I was able to just use some extra pieces of the decorative trim molding we added to the front of the door and attach them to the back side of the hinges like that. So when I attach the hinge up onto the door, it'll really look like it's attached to something and not just crooked and flopping and bending. Even though it's a faux door, I want it to look real, so the placement of the handle is also very important. Not too high, not too low, just in the right spot. Same holds true for the placement of the hinges. So basically what I did is I measured 2 inches down from that bottom decorative piece of molding, and I am just going to attach my hinges at that point. I think that's the most realistic look in the end, and when it was all said and done, I really love the placement of all the hardware on this door. In fact, I really love the door. I'm not done yet. What I have done so far looks amazing. The only thing I will say is I do think I need to add some molding at some point, but that's for another day. I am super happy with how this came out today. What do you guys think? Did this door make a difference on the side of the chicken coop? Was it exactly what we needed? And did it bring enough curb appeal? Let me know in the comments below. I'm just gonna grab 5 of those edgers that have the gorgeous moss growing on them, and I'm just gonna kind of make a little window bed, if you will, underneath my window box. Now, I can't really have too much in there because if I need to pull the skirt off the bottom of the chicken coop to get underneath there for any reason, I need it to be accessible. But I do want to bring some kind of curb appeal, so I kind of had a vision that I would just take those edges that I had laying around. I know for a fact I have stuff out in my potting shed that can be used in gardens that's not being used. So I am going to set these here, create a cute little box, and I am going to go see what I can find in my potting shed to decorate this little area. It's all about the visual. Every little detail counts, and I really want this to be a cozy and inviting spot to sit and chill. It's not just a chicken coop, it's another outdoor living area that I can utilize to hang out in. And this is why I always buy the most random stuff and stick it away for another day, because I know I will always use it. All I had to do was go into my shed, look around for a minute, and I came up with mulch. I came up with some yard decorations and a few cutesy different things that I can actually put underneath that window. And this budget is still at like no dollars, with the exception of the plants I had to buy and the wood I bought for the door. I am shopping my own house. I am looking to see what I have lying around, and I am putting all of that stuff to good use. That's all you have to do. You don't have to spend $1 million. Just look around your house and your yard and see what you can come up with. All right, I'm just going to fill this little area in with the mulch I found in the shed. Just get it so it's kind of solid. Hold those sides up a little bit, if you will. I don't even know if that'll work, but that's how it's going to work in my mind. And I'm just going to start arranging the things that I found in the shed that I had already. Is it done? I highly doubt it. Is this the final outcome I'm looking for? Not remotely even close. But is it better than the empty space that it was before? Oh my gosh, yeah. And how sweet are these little mushrooms I found? They're little ceramic mushrooms, and I guess you just pop them in like a plant or in a flower bed. I'm going to put them in with the clematis, and how darling are they? I actually really love it. I think that's super cute. And I have just added some touches over here. Like I said, it's not done, but it's done for now. And I actually think it looks really, really pretty. What do you guys think? Do you like the space? Let me know in the comments down below. Did I nail it or did I miss it? I love the faux door, but I do realize that it needs some type of a wreath or a fabulous centerpiece, some DIY that I know I'll be up in my craft room putting together at some point. But I am super happy with how the space turned out in general. From where it was when we started to where it is right now is like 180 degrees away from each other, and I love it. But I do think it's lacking in one particular department. And I do think there is something that I can add to the outside of Cluckingham Palace to really up the ante and bring this outdoor living space to the absolute next level. So let's get that last final detail up, shall we? I picked up 5 boxes of these lights on clearance last year and just stuffed them aside for a day like this. I think this is the perfect touch for outside. These lights are going to look amazing. We'll be able to sit out here at the picnic table in the evening. We can use the little chimney, have a little fire, but I love the lights. Good job, babe. Thank you. I love how this blank, bland canvas turned out, and I really love how that chair was repurposed into a planter for the clematis. I think the outdoor space looks amazing. I still need to fill up my towers with some flowers. I still need to bring over my little chimenea, but there's always tomorrow to get the rest of that done. I love this. I love, love, love that DIY door, and I think it looks great. These lights just add perfect touch to the whole ambiance. I didn't get the ladder up on the wall, but that's no big deal. We'll get that mounted tomorrow. And I'm going to go in my craft room and see what I can dig up to create for some type of a wreath for that faux door. And can we just talk about that faux door for a second? Because I really, really love it. And I think if I add just a little bit of trim around it, that is really going to make it look real. But tell me if I'm wrong. From this angle, that actually looks like a door that you can use. Am I right? Let me know down below. This entire makeover, final cost $65, and that does include the price of the lights that I bought on clearance. This is why I always buy random stuff and just stick it away. And then I shop my home and come up with things that aren't being used or need a new home, put them where they need to go, and look at the transformation we made. I didn't go out and buy anything. I had it all. Always buy things on sale. Always put them aside if you can. I have a great garden shed to hold things like this, and I am so glad that I had all of this to use because this budget was nothing. Paid for some fresh flowers and I paid for the material to make the door. Super, super cheap, 65 bucks. We are done. Well, just a couple little details to finish, but for the most part, we really are done. I was poking around my craft room and I came up with several different options for things I could use to make a door hanger for the chicken coop. So let's see what we can come up with. Using my trusty command hook, we're going to hang this up and see how the finished product looked. Again, I had everything on hand. It didn't cost me a penny, and I really love it. This sign came from my good friend Christy. I met her through this channel. She sent it to me, and now look what I did, Christy. I love it. It's simple yet pretty. Scott pre-drilled holes into the ladder so we could countersink the screws in there and kind of hide them a little bit, but still keep it accessible. And then he centered it between the window and the edge of the building and got it up. And I actually cannot wait to see the clematis climb this in years to come. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And another great example of repurposing a item not being used otherwise. Another free project. I also had Scott bring over 4 of those pavers, and we leveled them and brought our unused chimenea over to this sitting area. I think it's a perfect touch. It's the perfect size. We can have a nice little fire while we're sitting there at the picnic table, could toast marshmallows, or even just the ambiance. I mean, it's literally not being used. It's been sitting in the same spot for years, and now it has a new purpose and a new home. The space above the new faux door was just absolutely lacking, so I came up with this really great idea using something I already had. I've been collecting miscellaneous pieces for walls, and I remembered I had this grate, if you will, and I thought this was absolutely perfect for over the door, and holy smokes, was I right. This is exactly the touch it needed, and I am so in love with the final result. Well, guys, we certainly did an extreme budget makeover this weekend, didn't we? I took the opportunity and did several DIY projects using things I already had lying around. I mean, look at that faux door. My daughter actually stopped by and I said, "What do you think of the faux door?" And she's like, "What faux door?" Like that one. She's like, "That's not real." I said, "Oh my Lord, Jessica, no." So I take that as an extreme compliment. I love having the little fire area over there. I did end up getting the chicken run panels off so the air can circulate. That's cleaned out. That's ready for another step. More importantly, look at this new outdoor area I created. It is a new place to hang out. It's a swing set I bought off Marketplace. Don't mind it. I have to get it in the backyard. Look at this area, you guys. I so love it. What do you think? Do you think it came out good? Is the curb appeal what I was going for? What do you think of that faux door? Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the end result of Cluckingham Palace. It is not done, but boy, are we on our way and we are headed in the right direction. That is for sure. I am so in love with this. What do you guys think?
I always give away too much. It's like I've got no sense of touch. I'm always pouring out my heart, no little by little here. I'm always pushing things too far. 2, 5, 6, 10 drinks at the bar. No boundaries, I get too close. No little by little here. 'Cause I give my all.